The moment we've all been waiting for finally happened. Belly and Conrad are closer than ever, and the tension at Cousins Beach is reaching a breaking point. Everything we thought we knew about love, loyalty, and heartbreak is about to be turned upside down. With weddings, secrets, and old feelings colliding, this season is proving that nothing, and I mean nothing, will stay the same. But as we dive deeper, one question keeps lingering. Will Belly follow her heart? Or will the chaos of love and responsibility pull her in another direction? Episode 7 promises to push every relationship to its limits, and the fallout could change everything. Finally, after all the tension building up through Season 3, Belly and Conrad's closeness is undeniable. From the very first moment of Episode 6, the chemistry between them is electric, and every glance, every word, is loaded with meaning. You could feel the history between them hanging in the air, like a storm waiting to break. Belly's reaction to Conrad at the end of the episode was telling. Her heart is far from settled. For the first time, she couldn't hide the confusion she feels, and it's clear that Conrad's feelings aren't the only ones tangled in this mess. Throughout the episode, Belly tried to keep her distance, refusing the meal he cooked and keeping conversations brief. On the surface, it seemed like wedding stress, but the truth is far more complicated. She's still grappling with feelings she thought were long buried. That scene at the end wasn't just a reunion, it was a revelation. Conrad, on the other hand, is a maze of emotions. It's obvious that he's holding back. But why? Is it loyalty? Fear? Or the knowledge that every step forward risks shattering something precious? Watching him interact with Belly, you can see the internal struggle. He wants to act, but he's tethered by the weight of circumstance. The small, quiet moments between them are the most telling. A lingering look, a pause before speaking, a hand hovering just too long. Every detail speaks louder than words. This isn't just flirtation or nostalgia. This is a collision of past and present, feelings that refuse to stay buried. And for viewers, it's impossible to ignore the tension. While this closeness is thrilling, it also sets the stage for chaos. Belly's mind is spinning. Her loyalty to Jeremiah is now complicated by the resurgence of what she once felt for Conrad. Each interaction, each conversation, now carries a weight she can't shake. It's a dangerous game, and every choice she makes from this point on will have consequences. The audience is left questioning. Will she act on these feelings, or will she bury them once more to maintain the life she's trying to build? Even minor interactions highlight the stakes. Belly's brief hesitation when responding to Conrad, her subtle expressions of doubt, and the moments she almost reveals too much, all serve to underline the suspense. Conrad's restraint is equally compelling. It's as though every small action is measured against an invisible scale of consequences. He knows what he wants, but the timing is everything. And in this tension, the show masterfully keeps viewers on edge because any moment could tip the balance. The emotional gravity here isn't just about romance, it's about choices, identity, and the courage to confront what's truly in your heart. Belly's struggle is relatable. She's trying to do what's right, but her heart refuses to cooperate. Conrad's struggle is equally human. He's navigating loyalty, desire, and fear of disruption. This is why the reunion scene is so powerful. It's more than a moment of closeness, it's a pivot point. From here, everything changes. Every smile, every pause, every glance carries a ripple effect, not just for them, but for everyone around them. As we move forward into Episode 7, this closeness becomes the catalyst for conflict. The audience can anticipate emotional explosions, misunderstandings, and the subtle heartbreak that comes when feelings clash with obligations. Belly and Conrad's reunion is not just a reunion of two people. It's a spark that ignites every suppressed emotion, every lingering doubt, and every hidden desire. And that's what makes this season so gripping. Even secondary interactions hint at the complexity. For example, Conrad's quiet concern for Belly, the way he notices small details she misses, and the subtle ways he tries to protect her from stress all hint at something deeper than friendship. Meanwhile, Belly's own actions, her hesitations, her fleeting glances, her internal debate, paint a picture of a young woman torn between past love and present duty. The tension isn't just romantic, it's psychological, emotional, and painfully relatable. By the end of the episode, the audience is left with questions that hang in the air like a storm cloud. What will Belly do with these feelings? Will Conrad take a step forward or retreat? And how will Jeremiah react when he senses the shift in her heart? These questions are not hypothetical, they're inevitable, and the show expertly builds suspense so that every viewer is left on edge. This reunion is a turning point, and it's clear that episode 7 will lean heavily on it. Every decision, every reaction, every word spoken between Belly and Conrad now carries monumental weight. Their closeness is no longer a fleeting moment. It's a narrative anchor that drives the story forward, pulling every character into its orbit. And for fans, that's what makes this season both thrilling and heartbreakingly unpredictable. While all eyes are on Conrad and Belly, Jeremiah's world is quietly unraveling, and episode 6 laid the groundwork for what could become a major emotional storm. On the surface, everything seems normal: wedding plans, house hunting, and conversations about their future. But the cracks are already showing. From the moment they learned they couldn't buy their dream house due to low credit, the stress began to mount. It's a realistic glimpse into the pressures of young love intersecting with real-life responsibilities. These small setbacks aren't just plot points, they're catalysts for the growing tension between Belly and Jeremiah. And by the time episode 7 arrives, the audience will feel the emotional weight building like a ticking clock. Belly's stress is multi-layered. Wedding planning alone is exhausting, and the country club scene highlighted just how overwhelming these responsibilities have become. But there's more to it than just logistics. Beneath the surface, Belly is wrestling with the resurgence of feelings for Conrad. It's subtle, hesitations, fleeting expressions of doubt, but the audience can sense it in every word she speaks and every decision she makes. For viewers, it's a thrilling kind of suspense, because we know that even the smallest misstep could ignite a cascade of emotional fallout. Belly's mind isn't just on the wedding, it's split, torn between past and present, loyalty and desire. Jeremiah, on the other hand, is slowly awakening to the tension. While he appears calm and supportive on the surface, there are cracks in his composure. Belly mixing up Conrad's pet for his own may seem minor, but it's a subtle spark that raises questions about how well she's truly focused on him. It's easy to overlook, but in the context of their relationship, these little moments carry heavy emotional weight. Even though Jeremiah doesn't outwardly confront Belly in these situations, his internal reactions, confusion, quiet jealousy, and suppressed frustration, are simmering beneath the surface. Episode 7 will likely explore this simmering tension, making every interaction a potential powder keg. The emotional landscape becomes even more complex when we consider the psychological strain Belly is under. She wants to do right by Jeremiah, but her heart keeps pulling her toward Conrad. Every plan, every conversation, every wedding detail now carries a double meaning. Belly's struggle isn't just about love, it's about identity and desire. Does she follow the life she's planned with Jeremiah? Or does she acknowledge the feelings that never truly left her for Conrad? This conflict is what makes her storyline so compelling. Every decision has consequences, and the audience is left holding their breath, knowing that the next episode could completely upend the status quo. Then there's the subtle but powerful aspect of jealousy. Jeremiah may not be vocal about it yet, but Conrad's presence looms like a shadow over their relationship. Whether it's Conrad's favorite restaurant being chosen for dinner, or the way he intuitively understands Belly in ways Jeremiah can't, these small moments are emotional landmines. The suspense comes from watching Jeremiah navigate this quietly, unsure if he's imagining things or if there's truly a shift in Belly's heart. For viewers, it's both heartbreaking and thrilling. Every glance and word between them is layered with meaning, creating a sense of anticipation that's almost unbearable. The bridal shower added another dimension to this tension. Belly's happiness at finally seeing her mother present was genuine, but the moment was tinged with emotional complexity. Her decision to maintain her own last name, rather than adopting Jeremiah's, is telling. It's not just a statement, it's a symbolic act of independence and a subtle acknowledgement of the unresolved past with Conrad. This decision is loaded with suspense because it suggests that Belly is consciously navigating a path between love, loyalty, and self-identity. For viewers, it raises questions. Is she truly ready to commit to Jeremiah? Or is her heart still tethered to the unresolved feelings with Conrad? Episode 7 is primed to explore this tension even further. Belly's growing confusion is likely to manifest in small but significant ways, bringing up Conrad during wedding planning, hesitating in her conversations with Jeremiah, or displaying moments of distraction that he will inevitably notice. The suspense comes from knowing that Jeremiah will sense the emotional shift, and the audience can anticipate the confrontation. Will he ask the question that's been simmering in the background? Will he finally confront Belly about her lingering feelings? The stakes are incredibly high because every emotional decision now has ripple effects for both of them and the people around them. Even outside the romantic tension, the show masterfully layers in secondary conflicts that heighten suspense. The audience is aware of how small actions and seemingly minor misunderstandings can escalate into major emotional fallout. Belly's struggle is deeply relatable. She's not only managing external pressures, like the wedding and family expectations, but also the internal chaos of her heart. And Jeremiah's growing awareness of Conrad's presence adds a silent but powerful tension. Episode 7 promises to explore this intricate dynamic, keeping viewers on edge with every interaction. By the end of this section, it's clear that Belly and Jeremiah's story is not just about a wedding. It's about the delicate balance of emotions, loyalty, and personal desire. The chaos of wedding planning serves as a perfect backdrop for the deeper, more thrilling drama of love triangles, unspoken feelings, and impending heartbreak. The suspense isn't just in what might happen next. It's in every glance, every hesitation, and every choice that could change the course of their lives forever. While Belly and Jeremiah navigate wedding chaos, Conrad's role in this tangled web of emotions is more crucial than ever. Episode 6 and the trailer for Episode 7 have teased that his feelings are impossible to ignore. His quiet moments of longing, subtle gestures of care, and the way he instinctively understands Belly highlight that this isn't just nostalgia or fleeting attraction. This is the heart of the emotional storm. The audience can feel the tension building. Every interaction, every choice Conrad makes now has the potential to ignite heartbreak, jealousy, and revelation. Watching him navigate these emotions is both thrilling and painful because we know what's at stake, and yet the outcome remains uncertain. Conrad's closeness with Belly is mirrored by his growing awareness of the impact this has on those around him, especially Jeremiah. His restraint is fascinating to watch. He wants to act on his feelings, yet he's careful not to completely disrupt Belly's life. Every decision is measured, but the suspense comes from knowing that restraint can only last so long. Even his small gestures, the way he notices her moods, the subtle concern in his voice, the silent understanding in his eyes, speak volumes. Episode 7 seems poised to push him further, likely forcing him to confront these feelings in a more explicit way. And when he finally acts, the ripple effect won't just be felt by Belly or Jeremiah. It will touch every character whose life is intertwined with theirs. Taylor's storyline adds another layer of suspense and emotional weight. Her unrequited feelings for Steven make her a quietly tragic figure this season. Seeing her struggle to maintain friendship while navigating heartbreak adds a poignant contrast to the main love triangle. Episode 6 showed glimpses of her pain, especially as Steven's flirtations with Denise became more visible. Her internal conflict, wanting to remain close to Steven, yet knowing she's not his priority, mirrors the tension in Belly's own story. For viewers, Taylor's quiet suffering is compelling because it's layered and complex. It's not dramatic in the usual sense, but it's real, it's relatable, and it amplifies the emotional stakes of the season. The interactions between Conrad and Taylor are also key to predicting episode 7. In the trailer, their conversation hints at revelations that could shift the story dramatically. Taylor knows about Belly and Conrad's growing closeness, and she's likely to confront him, intentionally or not, forcing Conrad to articulate feelings he's kept hidden. This is where suspense reaches a peak. Will Conrad confess his love openly, or will he once again suppress it for the sake of appearances? And what does Taylor's insight mean for the unfolding drama? She may unintentionally push Conrad toward a confession, or she may reveal truths that complicate relationships even further. The tension here is electric, and the audience is left guessing what choice will tip the balance. Meanwhile, the social dynamics and small emotional cues continue to heighten the suspense. Every conversation, every glance, and even the smallest gesture carries potential consequences. Belly's moments of distraction, Conrad's subtle hints, and Jeremiah's quiet suspicion all interact like dominoes, each one capable of triggering an emotional avalanche. This meticulous layering of tension is what makes the season so captivating. The narrative doesn't rely on sudden shocks. It thrives on slow-building, almost unbearable suspense, where every emotional decision feels consequential. Episode 7 seems destined to escalate this tension in multiple ways. Belly's confusion will likely become more visible, manifesting in awkward moments with Jeremiah and impulsive confessions to Taylor. Jeremiah, sensing her internal struggle, may confront her directly, asking the questions that have been simmering in the background. Do you still love Conrad? Or, are you really happy with me? The suspense here is unbearable because the answers aren't simple, and the fallout will affect everyone. It's not just about romance, it's about identity, loyalty, and the courage to face truths that could change lives forever. The bridal shower, family dynamics, and subtle social cues all feed into this storm. Laurel's influence, Conrad's quiet guidance, and even small misunderstandings are carefully layered to increase suspense. Viewers are on edge because the show doesn't just tell us about conflict, it lets us feel it. Belly's emotions, Conrad's restraint, Jeremiah's jealousy, and Taylor's heartbreak all intersect, creating a perfect storm of suspense that promises to explode in episode 7. Every glance, hesitation, and word now carries weight, and every interaction is a step closer to revelation or heartbreak. By the end of this section, the narrative is clear. Episode 7 will be a turning point. Emotions that have been simmering for an entire season are about to boil over. Belly's heart, Conrad's restraint, Jeremiah's growing awareness, and Taylor's silent suffering all converge in a delicate balance that could collapse at any moment. The suspense isn't just in what might happen, it's in every choice, every glance, and every unspoken thought that shapes the fate of these characters. And as fans, we're left holding our breath, waiting for the moment when hearts will speak, secrets will surface, and the chaos of love will finally take center stage. The season has expertly set up this emotional climax. Love, loyalty, jealousy, and heartbreak are all interwoven, creating a tension that is both thrilling and heart-wrenching. Episode 7 promises not just drama, but an exploration of what it truly means to follow your heart, confront your feelings, and face the consequences of the choices you make. Every character is on the edge, every emotion is heightened, and every decision could change the course of the story forever. The suspense is relentless, and the payoff will be unforgettable.